G'day and welcome to another Catch the Spur. I'm Catch, we're all Spurs. After the Liverpool game last week and the poor performance, it was pivotal that we came out against West Ham on the right foot. How do we go? In typical Martin Ho fashion, we started with Copping goal, Ribrink, Koga, Hunt and Blackstad on the left. Then we had SpursWomen and Holt play through the middle, and Vinberg on the right, England through the middle, and Gorpset on the left. Now, if you saw my podcast last week, and I think it was a good one, even though it was a negative performance, I think we could still take a few positives out of it. I was asking to see Gorpset come out on the wing and have Holt through the middle, because Holt and England and Tandberg look their best when they're rotating. I think this means now that Tandberg's back, and hopefully she's playing 90 minutes from now on, that we'll be able to experiment with Gorpset, England, Holt and Tandberg as a rotating four. Vinberg played really well and her strike was excellent, but I thought today Vinberg, Blackstad and Summanen with their crosses just weren't pivotal enough. We got up there, we beat players, we got into the box, but when it came to that final pass, they were a bit soft, they were straight to a defender, or they just weren't getting past the first man on corners. The other ongoing issue we seem to have is Ribrink at right back. The first goal, she really got dragged out of position. She could have let her go shuffling to the middle a bit more. I believe it was Spence that was more central that would have cut off those angles, but instead she'd followed them across, left her space of the back post open, ball gets crossed back in, and that's where we concede the goal. I don't think she's quite up to scratch to play right back. I know that she's more central to left dominant, and it's tough going in there when you're not a natural right back. Same with if we were to try and put Charlie Grant in there, even though she is now injured. And same with if you put Blackstad right back. But I'd like to try and put Blackstad on the right. And the reason I wouldn't put Amanda Nilden, and we'll get to that a little bit more in depth later, but when she came on, the whole game changed. The excellent thing about Gorsup last night was that she was able to play wide and have no real responsibility, so she could get the ball, cut inside, or come more central and force space on that left-hand side for Blackstad to run into. And I remember one of the commentators saying that she was very Haaland-esque, but I kind of disagree with that. I think she's more of a Kevin De Bruyne-esque. Instead of that pivotal final touch in the box, she's more that kind of player to beat defenders and manage to hold onto the ball and strengthen them off. And that's the other thing. I love that we've really brought in people over the last 12 months that have a bit more stature and are a bit stronger and can push opposition players off the box. Holt does it really well. And then we've obviously got Tandberg and now Gorsup. And that brings me to my last point before I start talking about the second half and my players of the match. It was quite unlucky to go in at the half 1-0 down. We had put on a fair bit of pressure, held up a lot more of the ball at that point, and got really good chances in the area, but we just couldn't secure them, couldn't get on the end of them. But we went in and we didn't lose that energy when we came back out. And that takes us to the second half. As I just mentioned, the second half starts and we do bring that energy. I didn't want the first half to finish, and that 1 minute of extra time did seem a little bit short. But I'm glad that we got straight back out there and really put the pressure on from the beginning. But it didn't really start heating up until the 61st minute. 29 minutes on the field isn't a lot, but if there wasn't one other player, Amanda Nilden would have my man of the match. She was driving down the line, she was putting in great balls, she was just overall incredibly dangerous, making great overlapping runs, putting all of that side on report to make sure that they were doing their jobs, because she was just so dominant. And she even got the assist for our winning goal for Olivia Holt. Now I just want to highlight this here. We really managed a lot of expected goals, 2.7 to be exact. So we performed worse off than we should have, anything above 2.5 is obviously towards rounding up 3 goals. And we really missed out on those crosses into the box that went straight to defenders. They're not counted towards the XG statistics because they were not a shot. What actually constitutes XG is a shot on goal from obviously on the field. So it takes into account where the shot is and how far away the shot is compared to where the keeper is, where all the defenders are. So that's why those are not included in this statistic. But 28 shots on goal. Now, where we did go wrong was getting those crosses in, but where we went right was we scored 2 absolute worldies. Vinberg's ball into that top corner was immaculate, and then Olivia Holt's first touch on that ball is impeccable. And I think we should hang it in the Louvre. Another thing we did really well was converting corners into putting them towards the 6-yard line. A lot of keepers in our league don't have the height, the stature, the physicality to be able to fight away players and knock the ball out of the box. So even though we didn't put in a great ball for every corner, which was probably half of them that we didn't even beat the first man, when we were getting it in, it was in that really dangerous area just outside the keeper's grasp. And then one last thing before we talk about my man of the match that I should have mentioned earlier. The thing that really impresses me about Gorsuch is she is willing to do the dirty defensive work. Her and Nilden late were really pressing high to win the ball back, as well as in the 69th minute, she got back on a really fast break. And you wouldn't see a lot of strikers doing the same, but she was eager to keep us in the game and get back and do the legwork for the team. So I love to see it. And then that takes me to my man of the match. It was Cop. Cop surely got beaten early, but there wasn't a whole lot she can do about that kind of ball getting across the goal that quickly. But she was really strong, she was really dominant. The 2 moments that I think of in particular is that 21st minute where she had a one-on-one, she makes a save. Sure, she could have got more on it, but she got enough on it to allow Koga to get back and make that goal line save. And then the other one was the 59th minute mark, that excellent low right save that she made from a cross or a corner. And it came in hard, it came in low, and she got down, got it out. So excellent performance, 3 points from me. So where does that leave the Tottenham Hotspur Women's team? We're in 5th, but it's not all gloomy. We have a very tough game in Chelsea. I'll admit that. We can go there and win that game. At absolute minimum, very likely we can take a point. What goes well for us is Arsenal on 26 points, the same as us. They've got City. Now, that is a tough game as well, and City haven't been playing as well as they have previously, but they're always getting the job done. 13 wins from 14 is incredible, and they can do it again against Arsenal. So if we take a point, we take 3 points, we can go up to 3rd. And if we get 3rd, that's Champions League football right there, baby. We've got another 8 games, so let's strap on the boots, put on the seatbelts, because it's going to be a wild ride, and we're all here for it. Come on, you Spurs!